Guys, I am somebody that's been playing World of Warcraft for probably way too long. I've been playing since Vanilla WoW, and if there's one thing that I've learned over all these years of playing, it's what does your World of Warcraft main say about you? So, that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get started, and my friend, prepare to be read like a book. The Warrior. All warrior players are solo-type personalities that would like nothing more than to charge into battle alone against a tide of enemies and slaughter them all one by one. However, due to the nature of the game, you are forced to fight alongside the normies, and that pisses you off deep down in your heart. As a prot warrior, you are the living definition of tank in World of Warcraft ever since vanilla, and you wear that badge proudly. In the back of your head, you have a little bit of an ego, because you know that an untold number of players have tanked as your class and spec before you, and many will tank as prot long after you're gone. As a warrior, you probably hated leveling up, as warrior leveling is some of the most boring leveling in the game. However, when it comes to PvP and PvE, you probably think that nothing compares to destroying face as a max level warrior at endgame. And lastly, if you are not a prot warrior, you probably spend most of your day in World of Warcraft trying to find the most badass transmog, and you screen cap every single little crit you get to put on Facebook to show your friends who just don't care. The Mage. As a mage, you are someone who wants to live life on the edge by doing big damage, but having just a little bit of health to survive on. But you know what? You're dangerous, and so you'll do it. Now, as you go through your perilous adventure as a mage, you absolutely hate it whenever anybody asks you for food, but you hide this frustration by throwing just a little smiley face at the end of your no problem message. You also think that Mirror Image is the most amazing spell ever, so when the talent choice is not the right one for top DPS, you get really depressed and you're forced to choose otherwise. Or you just stop caring and you choose it anyway. And finally, you relish in moments to show off your crowd controlling abilities, and sometimes, my friend, on a dark and cloudless night, you remember the days of marking and polymorphing in dungeons, and you cry over your memories. The Demon Hunter. As a Demon Hunter, you think that Illidan is this amazingly cool character simply because his voice actor is badass, or maybe you're just playing the class because it's new, one of the two. You are the most unoriginal person who plays World of Warcraft as well, because you of course just had to make your character's name stuff like Illidan with 3 L's, Not Prepared, I Am Prepared, Demon Hunter, John Wilson. How unoriginal can one class be? As a Demon Hunter, I can guarantee you've made at least one shoop-de-whoop joke in your playtime after casting Eyebeam, and you just hate the fact that people look down on you for playing the new class. So you follow every guide as close as possible to do maximum DPS, you always do your best in PvP, and more. You are determined to prove yourself to the WoW community as a legit, fun, and awesome class. But you know what? You can't, because deep down, you know that Death Knights are better. The Death Knight. Now, as a Death Knight, you want to play as a Necromancer class, but because it's not in World of Warcraft yet, you gotta settle for second best. Now, most likely you have a YouTube channel where you make stupid machinima videos that people watch for some reason because, I don't know, they think that your weird voices are funny or something. And you also absolutely hate warlocks and anybody who plays a warlock because you are supposed to be the dark and evil class, not them. And hey, why is it that warlocks always get such cool tier sets? As a Death Knight, all you want are a ton of skulls all across your armor. But does Blizzard deliver? No. And speaking of Blizzard, you secretly hate them for not allowing DKs the ability to name their ghouls. You eagerly await the day when you can name your ghoul something like "coming for dat booty" and just watch them wreck the enemy faction in a battleground. The Rogue. Now, as a rogue, you understand that you are the stereotypical asshole of World of Warcraft, and so rather than trying to escape this stereotypical social role, you embrace it. In your free time, you creep into low-level zones, and you kill quest-giving NPCs to piss off the noobs, and you will only attack a max-level player if, and only if, they are fighting a ton of mobs at once, so that there's no way they will survive your attack. You also think that it's really badass for Blizzard to have made an entire song about your class. And finally, you also are on the ninja side of the argument in the pirates versus ninjas debate, and most likely, in your bedroom, you have a Nerf gun, a foam dagger, or a Genji cosplay outfit that you have bought from a convention in the past. The Warlock. You absolutely hate Death Knights because they're just so much cooler of a class, especially Night Elf Death Knights, since they're just so handsome and so awesome, especially the people that play them. You probably have a YouTube channel as well, but you never make any content, so people get really angry at you, and they leave mean comments on your Twitter. Now, despite having the coolest tier sets in the game, somehow, you manage to create a terrible transmog. Oh, and you absolutely hate it when people ask for a soul well, and when people beg for a summon who are just one zone away, and could easily fly or ride to meet up with your group. The Monk. You were that one person who was actually excited for Mist of Pandaria because you just have a fascination with Eastern culture, kung fu, anime, and all of that hullabaloo. Now you know that monks are very few and very far between, but damn it, you are proud. But to this day, you still have no idea how to play a monk, and you probably don't even know why you're even playing it. You're probably a borderline alcoholic in real life, and I can guarantee, and I'd bet money on it, that you have a pet turtle. Yeah. The Shaman. You know, and I know, that the only reason you picked Shaman was to spam Chain Lightning or Chain Heal all day, every day. Every chance you get, you will spam those abilities, and you will love every second of it. You also think that wolves are the greatest thing since sliced bread, which causes you to have this burst of glee whenever you shapeshift into a ghost wolf. Your favorite battleground is Eye of the Storm simply because you can thundershock everybody off the middle of the BG, which causes you to again explode in happiness whenever you are successful. But despite all your happiness while playing the class, you are actually the least social of all the WoW classes, aside from the occasional troll shaman who just complains about all the schoolwork he has to do, but for some reason he's playing World of Warcraft when he should be doing the schoolwork, so you don't really know why he's complaining in the first place when he should be working. You know that guy? Man, I hate that guy. The Priest. You are the most underappreciated class, and you know it. If you're a healer, you know that secretly, everyone is thankful for your contribution to the group, but if you play as a Shadow Priest, you know that secretly everybody wishes you would stop being such a pussy and just be a healer. All you want to do in every dungeon and raid is just stand still and heal and turn your mind off. And every time you have to move due to a mechanic when you're just about to get a heal off, you get so frustrated. Yet over time, you've learned to bury that frustration deep down inside. Now when it comes to interacting with the other players outside of healing in dungeons and raids and BGs, all you care about is pulling people around with a leap of faith so that they can share your deep-seated frustrations, and you also just love to mind control people and make them jump off of high places. Deep down, you are the biggest troll and forum spammer in World of Warcraft, but nobody suspects you or judges you, since you are the guild healer. The Hunter. You picked a hunter, Because you have a super soft spot for animals in your heart. You might not admit it out loud, but you know it's true. You also only picked this class because you just wanted to spam Barrage as much as possible, as it's the closest thing to spraying and praying in an MMO. You secretly leave your pet taunt on in dungeons in order to piss off your tank and the rest of the group, and you will only take it off if somebody notices. And finally, I can say that as a hunter, you probably at one point have literally tried to play your class using either your feet, your forehead, or your dick, since it's so easy to play. The Paladin. You played Warcraft 3, and you were so heartbroken by Arthas' fall that you try to continue his former Paladin example in the game today. Secretly, you miss having auras, and you hate Blizzard for removing them, as they feel so nostalgic to Warcraft 3, and they were so neat. Now, despite having healing abilities, even if you're not in a healing spec, you will never, ever cast a single healing spell on a dying teammate in a battleground, because you think you're too good for that. And speaking of PvP, 99% of Paladins are PvPers, because a Paladin just loves to laugh their ass off whenever they're just about to die and they deny the kill by pressing that bubble. The Druid. I can guarantee that you are probably the most un-Druid-like person in real life. You don't recycle, you litter, and you don't care about animals and nature and all that crap at all. You were just confused when you first picked up the game by all the classes and the specs, and you just heard about how apparently this Druid class can do everything, so you just said, oh, I'll just go with that class, why not? When it comes to shapeshifting, you are jealous as hell of Khadgar for being able to shapeshift into a raven, but you will never say it out loud on the forums, as people will just say you're whining and that druids are special enough. And finally, despite being a super non-druid in real life, for some reason, you can't help but listen to ancient Celtic music as you level, dungeon, or raid while playing the druid. And that's it, everybody. All the classes and what it means if you main them. I know. You're probably sitting there in shock right now, in pure shock that I read you like a book. So you know what, guys? All you gotta do now is give the video a thumbs up and just leave a little comment below saying something really humble like, wow, Nixium, you sure are smart and really handsome too. You know, just something like that, you know. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening, and maybe if you were interested in another class, this video might have given you an idea or some inspiration towards another class you might want to check out. So with that said, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.